Your secrets, if you really look at yourself, you would be speechless. What happened to being doctors and teachers? What happened to being your brother's keeper? Nowadays kids more worried about the...
Hey guys, Zypra here, and since it's finally been the release of WOD and I finally got my level 100, it's time to finish off the talent tree guide with my level 100 talent. Now for the level 100 talents, I decided to go for Claws of Shirvallah, because as you can read there, it gives me the ability to heal and do non-damaging Druid spells, which is like Shred, Rip, Rake. It allows me to do all those moves like Healing Touch, Rejuvenation and all that while I'm in my cat form. Now you might be thinking, well, that's not really much of a talent, because you know, you can just go out of form and do the heals. So what's the benefit of doing them in cat form? Well, it's not so much of them being done in cat form. I mean, sure, it does. It is awful getting caught out of form when healing like a stun or something, because you do take a lot of damage, and if you're not rolling with the glyph to take 20% more damage in cat form, then you're going to be in a bit of trouble. But one of the main reasons is because Lunar Inspiration doesn't have it, nor does the Blood Talons. Now the reason why I haven't gone for these two first, I'll cover why I haven't gone for these two as opposed to that one first, because casting Healing Touch causes my next two melee abilities to deal 30% additional damage. Now in 3v3 I am going to need to use some Healing Touch, but I don't find it as much of a viable talent as Claws of Shirvallah, because you know, you're not going to need to do as many healing touches, so like it's not as good. I mean, it is viable, but it's not as good as that one. And for the Lunar Inspiration, it just allows you to use Moonkin while in cat form, generating a combo point and dealing damage. Now I'm not quite full gear yet, but I've only been able to hit sort of around 1Ks when I tested it. But back to the point of why I've gone for Claws of Shirvallah. The reason why is for the end bit there. Increases versatility by 5%. Now if I cover what versatility is for you, it increases the damage and healing done by 8.92%, and it decreases the damage I take by 4.46%. Now obviously that's because I am in cat form, but I find that much more viable than going for Blood Talons and having 30% additional damage for my next two melee attacks, because in the 3v3 game I'm not going to expect to need too many healing touches, and by the time I do need to use the healing touches, the 30% additional melee attack 2 times, which will be 60% increased damage, I believe that the versatility will be able to make up more than the 60% damage, 60% damage increase even, because I'll be doing a lot more attacks than heals. So to try and make it a bit easier to understand, each attack is going to do 8.92% more, which means 10 attacks is going to be 80.92% more damage that I've done than I would have done, you know, without versatility. And I can do those 10 moves pretty quickly, and then if I need to use a healing touch then I've done 60% additional damage with my next 2 attacks. So I'd have done, or could have done, about 80% more damage, which will be 20% more damage than 60%. So I just find this one being a more viable talent than the Blood Talons. But there's nothing wrong with the Blood Talons. The Blood Talons one is probably quite good for 2v2 if you're double DPS or whatever, but I definitely prefer going for Claws of Shirvallah, because the versatility increase is pretty nice, and to be able to heal in cat form means if I get caught in a really bad position with a stun, with my glyph I'm still going to take 20% more healing anyway. So that's why I roll with that talent. I mean, it might change in future patches because there may be a nerf for it, but as of now I'm finding Claws of Shirvallah the best talent. Now, if any of that was confusing, or if you want me to elaborate any more on my point, feel free to leave a comment and I'll try and get back to you. But I've tried my absolute best to explain the talent, and I tried my best to explain the versatility versus the Blood Talons as well. That may have been the most confusing bit, and if you do have a question, just leave it in the comments. If I get a load of comments saying that you're struggling to understand the difference between the versatility and the Blood Talons talent, which I tried to explain, then I will make another video just for that, to try and explain that. But yeah, until then, that is the final of my talent tree guide. I do hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button in the middle of the screen. I also have my suggested video on the left and my previous video on the right, so you can go ahead and watch those as well. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.